Hey guys, I'm here with Ryan Pedone, and we're going to get the lowdown on pre-workouts today. Ryan, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hey guys, yeah man, definitely. I've been in the supplement industry for a while now. I worked in a retail store for about 3 or 4 years, did some product training there, got a good exposure there. I've competed in bodybuilding before, and now I've worked for a supplement distributor that distribute about 36 of the US brands, and we bring them over from the US to Australia. So it's really good. I get a lot of exposure to the formulations, the reason why they make their products, the innovative stuff that the US brings to the world. So yeah, I'm excited to be here and share with you some of the fun things that we do with our products.
Awesome. So I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who don't know what a pre-workout is, or when to take it, or why to take it.
Right.
So starting off, why would you take a pre-workout?
Look, I think the first thing you take a pre-workout is if you just can't be bothered going to the gym, right? Sometimes you might finish that shift, or just have a busy day and you're like, I'm not going today.
Yeah.
And then you know that if you've got a tub of C4 Rip sitting on your bench, and you know if I take a scoop and chuck that in some water and drink it, on the way to the gym I'll be singing along to a song and I'll feel more motivated. So I think a pre-workout, the reason why you take it is if you want consistent results, or if you want to perfect or achieve something that you're quite not getting right now, this can bring you up to that level.
So liquid motivation.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Awesome. How do they work, and what do they do within your body?
Look, the general way pre-workouts work is obviously most of them have caffeine, so they're going to give you an energy boost. They're going to give you an energy boost, but they're also going to be very specific depending on which one you're using to how they're going to boost you. So some of them might increase your endurance, so running longer, working out longer, riding a bike longer uphill, which will remove lactic acid. Some of them are going to increase the nootropic part of your brain, which is going to be motivation, mood, focus. So
Nice.
a lot of them will actually amplify particular parts of your life depending on which one you need more.
So it's very particular to each individual and how they work out.
It can be, and it can be sometimes that it might not be the specific product doing that, but what you lack. So like I might lack the mental clarity after work because I'm foggy.
Awesome.
So I'll take the pre-workout, and it will, because a lot of the ingredients are pretty clean and healthy, seemingly, they're just boosting what you lack. They're not necessarily taking you above and beyond what you need, because that wouldn't be beneficial.
No. Yeah. You'd feel uncomfortable.
Yeah. You'd be like, oh my God.
So you mentioned for those who are working out after work,
Sure.
Are there options that don't have any stimulants in them for those who want to sleep?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think it's also important to look at like the person themselves. If you're new and you haven't used like a pre-workout before, look at your lifestyle, look at your diet. Do you consume a lot of caffeine during the day? I'm Italian, so 4 or 5 cups of coffee is pretty normal.
Yeah.
So I can, after work at 5 or 6 p.m, if I'm going to bed at 11, if I take a pre-workout, I'm okay. As long as I train, I can go to bed.
Okay, cool.
Because I use up all the energy from the pre-workout in my workout.
Yep.
And then I still get to bed. And if you want to go even further, there's actually products that can help you kind of come down as well, as bad as that sounds,
Yeah.
to help you relax and rest. But as some people might be not necessarily too energized after the pre-workout, but their mind might be racing. And they're thinking about everything.
Yeah.
Thinking about, I gotta prep my meals, I gotta go to work tomorrow, and then their mind won't turn off. So just like a pre-workout that brings you up, you can actually combine it with a product that can kind of bring you down. And that would make sense in most cases, right? If you're gonna boost your workout, then you'd want to recover from that and rest from that just as well.
Get into that deep sleep that you're wanting afterwards.
Definitely.
Yeah. Are they safe? Should anyone avoid taking a product like this?
Look, they're definitely safe, but we have to be mindful that not everyone's the same, and a lot of people have a lot of things going on in their life. So I'd be general rule, 18 and above. If you use any prescription medicine, refer to someone that knows what they're talking about. I wouldn't give this to anyone that has any medication in their life without a check. Other than that, they're very safe, and as long as you know how to use them and you understand them, you can use them correctly.
Okay, cool. Now, I've used a lot of pre-workouts, and I've used them for a very long time.
Yeah.
I enjoy them. But for those who don't know, are there any side effects from taking it long term?
Yeah, man. I mean, look, there's not going to be side effects as a bad thing, right? But the side effects might be really good. You
Yeah.
might be stronger in the gym. You might be doing more weight. You might lose the body fat you're trying to do. Like, that's a great side effect. So the side effects can be good. Long term, if you misuse anything, they can be bad, right?
Absolutely.
I've heard that if you drink like 10 liters of water in an hour, you drown.
That's it.
Am I afraid to drink water?
No.
No. But I know that if I use the water correctly, I'll be hydrated. I know it's a bad example, but it's the same as the pre-workouts, but they're just a little bit more amplified.
Yeah.
Because they're concentrated, it's a lot easier to take too much of a pre-workout.
Absolutely.
And if I use it for the first time, those of you who haven't used the pre-workout, you'll use a pre-workout and it will feel so good that you're like, I want to do that again.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you just got to follow the guidelines and make sure you only
That's
use
it.
the right amount.
Recommended dosage.
Yeah.
That's
And your
it.
nutrition's important too.
Yeah, absolutely. That's where it all starts.
Yeah.
What are some key ingredients to look for, or maybe avoid in the pre-workout?
So we can break this down.
Yeah.
If you're first starting out, you'd probably want to go for something a bit more introductive, like, something like a C4 pre-workout. It's a good starting pre-workout because it's going to give you everything you need for boosting power, energy, focus to help you lift weights, run longer, ride a bike longer, and it's not going to overstimulate you. So a lot of these pre-workouts, they might be a little bit more advanced. If you take them for the first time, you're probably going to have a bad experience because they'll be too strong.
That one's very strong.
Yeah. So this one, it'd be like putting a 16-year-old learner driver in a Ferrari. Just,
Good example.
it's a great car, nothing wrong with the car, but they don't know what they're doing with it.
Right.
So we want to start them off slow.
Yeah.
Plus, for me, right, I took this morning and it was amazing. It was like my morning cup of coffee. I didn't even train, but it helped me keep me
Right.
focused and clarified, didn't overstimulate me, just kind of warmed me up and kept me going. So you'd go for something standard like a C4 to help you perform through your gym, and then you can, like, as we get to know someone, like I'll ask you, James, what are your goals right now, man? What are you trying to achieve?
Size and strength.
Size and strength.
Yep.
So I might say, okay, let's give you a pre-workout that's going to get him a little bit more powerful in the gym and a little bit more strength. So something like Nitroflex, it's a little bit higher end in terms of stimulants, but it's also got a few things in there that boost like testosterone, which will amplify aggression in the gym. So when you're going for your PB, you want to pick up that weight. That aggression, that power is really, really important.
Absolutely.
So if you can get 1% more aggressive in that lift, you might get a PB.
Awesome.
So we can customize that as well, and then you can go down the line as well. There's pre-workout fat burners, which will help you target goals like burning fat, which is not such a bad thing. And then there's also products like this, which are a little bit more nootropic based, which means mind. So focusing, narrowing in on your training and not getting distracted. So as you get tired, and you probably relate to this maybe,
Absolutely. Yep.
if you're training, at the start of your workout, you feel somewhat good.
Mm.
And as towards the end, how do you feel?
Very fatigued.
Fatigued.
You want to go home.
Right. And you're foggy and you can't really think and you're distracted. Something like that would take a lot longer to get you to the point of, oh, I want to go home, I can't think, I can't see, I'm tired. You'll be able to do a lot more in your workout, which is good for the results.
That's it. More reps, longer distance ran, you're going to see results by the end of 2 months, 3 months. You're going to see a much greater result.
Definitely. Yeah. And they're fun as well. They feel good.
That's it. Party in the gym. So, if someone liked the idea of having something that was, testosterone boosting in the gym and it's a bit more of a stronger product, but they weren't sure that they could tolerate the higher levels of caffeine, they're not sure, they've had a couple of pre-workouts before, because they're in powder form, can you just take less?
Definitely. I think it's like anything, right? We want to utilize them to our benefit. So no matter what the ingredients and instructions say, take 1 scoop half an hour before you train. Let's be mindful that we don't want to misuse them and we can customize them. So we could do half a scoop, or the way we consume it. So we might take a full scoop and put it in a liter of water and then sip it throughout half of the pre-workout time, so half an hour before, and then throughout the training. So we're not consuming the whole amount within 1 minute, chugging it down, running off to the gym, and it's hitting me all at once. I'll sip on it and feel the effects gradually, and then when I'm at a state of, okay, this is where I'm at, I just stop drinking. And I have to keep drinking.
Slow release pre-workout.
Yeah.
Nice.
Some people might relate that to a Friday night, but let's not go there.
What are some of your favourite products, mate?
Right now, for me, it's all about mind stuff,
Yep.
I'm working so much, and I still love my training, that I have a standard that I want to be at. So after my work, I still want to feel like I'm kicking goals. So something like Awaken, and the Black Ops stack right now for me is amazing. We didn't mention Black Ops. It's more of a pump formula.
So this is why you're stacking, because otherwise we're having way too much caffeine.
Yeah. So this is going to be my mind stim, my energy, my focus. It's going to get me there. But I might be doing arms. I love arms. It makes me feel good when they're pumped. A pump formula is going to make them feel so full and tight. So it's going to boost, what I love about training arms and something like a muscle area like that. So I'll use a pump formula for that, just that feeling of pump. But then I'll give this same product to a person that's going on an Ironman race, because it's going to increase their endurance, their blood flow, which is very important on long time, events. So it's the same product for completely different purposes, because just like nutrition, like we're fueled the same way.
That's it.
I might still have pasta and chicken to go do a bodybuilding show as the marathon runner or the tennis player or the golfer. So we still refer to the ingredients or the fuel in our body as the same, they cross over.
That's it.
And I think that sometimes the pre-workouts, they get related to gym, just gym,
That's it.
just in the gym. If I don't go to the gym, I'm not going to use a pre-workout. It's actually funny, I've got my dad using this for golf.
Awesome.
Because he goes, I get tired, I'm old now, I'm like 60, I get old and I can't putt it in, I get too blurry, and he uses it to focus his putts. It's so weird.
And he's improved?
Oh, I don't know that. Yeah. No, he has. He feels like he can perform better on the back nine. That's what he said. Which is pretty big referral from, a 60-year-old who probably never grew up with pre-workouts, probably trained his whole life and didn't really use them. So he's kind of against them, like, I didn't use that back in my day, why would I use it now? And then when he got exposed to it, he actually seen like a lot of benefit. And when he ran out, he was like, hey, can you get me that tub again? I recommended it to 5 friends at work as well. So it's pretty a fun, infectious environment. When you use it correctly, it can be really fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Are there any supplements you'd suggest to take with a pre-workout? I know you spoke about the stack you like. Are there any individual amino acids or things like that you can take with a pre-workout?
Definitely. I like to recommend products with pre-workouts, mainly because if it's goal orientated. So a lot of people, they get up now, they're fasting or they haven't eaten, obviously during the night because they've been sleeping, they get up and they do cardio. The one major concern when people get up and they haven't eaten and they do any exercise is they're going to lose all their muscle, their hard-earned gains. Or even if it's not necessarily like that volume of muscle, it could be someone quite petite, they don't want to lose any more muscle, they've got none as it is. Putting something like a branched chain amino acid into your pre-workout will give you the small micronutrients to fuel basically your body staying anabolic. And anabolic means building and repairing muscle.
Nice.
So you might have you get up, you go to the gym, you have no time to eat, chuck a scoop of that into your pre-workout, and those amino acids will keep your muscle tissue growing, and you won't use it as fuel because you've got nothing in your tummy. You'll use the pre-workout as energy, or maybe some fat stores you don't really want to keep. You can burn that off and keep your muscle.
That's what we're burning. We want to be burning fat.
Yeah, definitely. That's for someone that doesn't want to lose any muscle mass or maintain a muscle mass physique, that get leaner and tighter. So you might not want to get bigger, but it's going to stop you losing your muscle. Everyone wants the muscle. You've got things like L-carnitine, which can help you burn fat. So there are pre-workouts with fat burners, with the main ingredient being L-carnitine, which basically helps you burn more fat. The L-carnitine is going to allow you to add a little bit more of a clinical dose in your pre-workout.
Right. So for example, the OptiBurn might have a good amount in there to get you started, but there's nothing wrong with adding this product, some more L-carnitine to that.
Yeah, I think a good visual for this would be if I take, and if you look into it, for example, L-carnitine. For L-carnitine to burn fat, you need to have about 3 grams a day. If I read here, it's got L-carnitine 2,000 milligrams, so 2 grams. So I know that I'm not at the maximum dose I need to get the fat burning result, but already in 1 scoop, I'm 66% there. So if I add 1 scoop of that, which is a gram, I've already hit the clinical dose, and now I'm in fat burning zone. And that's actually probably something that I would want to talk about, because sometimes people read the effects of L-carnitine. They'll say, okay, L-carnitine burns fat. I'll just take L-carnitine. But the importance of the dosage is important, like beyond belief. If I don't get the dosage, and I'll give you an example, if I'm boiling water, what temperature does water boil at?
100 degrees.
100 degrees. Now, if I say I want to boil half my water, do I take it to 50 degrees?
No.
Nothing happens, right? The chemical reaction happens at 100. The water starts to turn to a gas, starts to boil. That is that peak where things start to change. So you can picture in your body, if you're only having 2 grams of L-carnitine and you need 3, you're going to burn 65% of your body fat off? No, nothing. So we've got to hit the numbers, the clinical dose. And a good way to do that is just pick up a product, say, hey James, what does L-carnitine do? You'll tell me it burns fat, and I'll just jump onto Google or ask the person in store, how many grams do I need? I know it's good for burning fat, but what do I need?
Right.
Once you work out those numbers, you can add things like L-carnitine in to achieve your dosage to get into your fat burning zone.
Nice, fantastic. And one of my favourites, beta-alanine.
Oh,
What's this used for? And can I add it to a fat burning pre-workout or a high stim pre-workout, or use it on its own?
Well, look, a lot of people have probably used this product and they don't even realize. You know, you take your pre-workout sample from an expo or someone that's given you, and then you all these tingles in my arms and feet and face. That's beta-alanine. It normally happens when you're static. So if you drink a pre-workout and you're not moving, your blood flow to your face and your hands is higher than your bigger muscle groups. But when you're training, say, chest or riding a bike, the blood flows to those big areas, you won't get those tingles. Beta-alanine increases endurance by removing lactic acid. So when you're doing your run or your ride, and you get that burning sensation, the beta-alanine literally comes in and cleans out the lactic acid, which is pain, allowing you to still perform without that pain. That tingly feeling is because it's actually working literally in your blood to remove, and when you're static, you feel it. So
there's nothing to worry about?
Nothing to worry about. If you have experienced it before and you weren't too sure what it was beta-alanine. A pro tip to avoid it is to drink it as you're warming up into your workout. So if you're starting a bike ride, drink it as you're going to ride, as opposed to most people say, drink your pre-workout half an hour before.
Right,
You know,
right.
you do that, and then what do you do for half an hour?
Feel tingly.
Drive to the gym. So there's not much blood flow, so therefore the beta-alanine just go into my face and hands straight away. Whereas if I drink it as I'm training and warming up, I'm moving all my big body parts, and then all the blood gets pushed there, and the beta-alanine can do its job, and it won't annoy my face.
Awesome.
Some people love the tingles though, so hey, if you want the tingles, just drink it when you're not moving.
Awesome, that's a very good breakdown. Last one, I think I've just spotted it in the corner here.
Yes, sir.
Agmatine, which I've seen in a lot of pre-workouts as well.
Yes.
I'd like to talk a little bit about what would be the clinical dose of that as well.
So the clinical dose, like this is a pure agmatine sulfate sample, and you're looking at a serving size of 750 grams. So I would probably add one scoop of that to at least 750 milligram pre-workout. So you're looking at about 1.5 grams to get a clinical pump dose in performance. The other thing I would like to add is that a lot of people look at pre-workouts as caffeine, you know? They just go, how much caffeine is it? 200, 300, and that's all they worry about. And I've heard out in the marketplace as well, a lot of people will say, I'll just drink a cup of coffee. I don't worry about the pre-workout. The only issue with that is, as biased as it sounds, is that caffeine is actually a vasoconstrictor, meaning that it will give you energy, increase your heart rate, make you feel focused, like that's why everyone has coffee and that's why I have coffee, but it won't increase my blood flow. And at the gym, or on the bike ride or whatever I'm doing, what are we trying to do?
We're trying to work muscle tissue, and they need blood.
And they need that blood to be moving, so we don't want something to restrict blood flow. So that's why you'll see caffeine in pre-workouts, and they'll be synergistically combined with other ingredients to counteract the restriction of blood flow. So something like agmatine is going to increase my blood flow. So you'll see ingredients like arginine or agmatine put in with caffeine, mainly to ride off the effect that caffeine has by reducing blood flow. So it's not an intelligent way to just have a cup of coffee. You want to have your caffeine, but you want to have it with a bunch of other fun stuff too, so it's not hindering your performance.
So if you were a coffee man like yourself, and you didn't want to use some of these products, for example, I could have a triple shot, and I could stack it with some beta-alanine and some agmatine, and then I've got the lactic acid buffering, and then I've got my pump product on top. So I've kind of hit myself a pre-workout, haven't I?
100%, and if you look at the amount of serves you're getting in these babies, like 100, you're going to be more cost effective as well. And then you can become a little bit like OCD, like me and James here, which we have every single ingredient at home, and I can customize my day. Monday I'm going to go for a ride, so I'm only going to need the beta-alanine for the lactic acid. But on Tuesday I'm doing legs with my training partner who's 400 kilos, so I'm going to need a pre-workout and the beta-alanine.
You don't need everything.
I'm going to need everything. Chuck it all in one. Yeah, so it can become quite fun, and it should be infectious. Like, you should never look at a pre-workout like which is good and which is bad. It's not black and white, you know. It's more about the tool, the application, like a hammer. If you give me a hammer and ask me to build you a house, ain't gonna be no house. But is it hammer's fault? You know, no. But if I give my friend who's a builder who has the right techniques and the knowledge, probably do pretty good at building a house, because he knows how to apply that hammer. So the metaphor there is, if you look at your pre-workouts as, okay, how can I learn enough about these so I can then apply them? You'll see a lot more positive light with them. And then you'll be able to recommend to friends and stuff like that.
Very nice, very nice. Well, thank you very much, Ryan.
Thanks for having me.
I'm sure everyone else knows exactly what they're doing now when it comes to pre-workout. So, thank you, mate.
Cheers.
Fantastic.
Thanks, man. Cool.